Rodrigo Roa Duterte, more commonly known as Duterte, Digong or PRRD, is the 16th and outgoing incumbent president of the Philippines. He was a political science degree holder at the Lyceum of the Philippines University, graduating in 1968, before obtaining a law degree from San Beda College of Law in 1972. Currently, he is the chairperson of PDP Laban, the ruling political party in the Philippines. PRRD had his first inaugural address on June 30, 2016, and his first State of the Nation address, or SONA, as the president on July 25, 2016. Build, build, build. Building new expressways, airports and seaports, bridges, and other infrastructures, under the Department of Public Works and Highways, Mark Villar. A budget of over 6 trillion in 6 years. Outcome: for the last 5 years, the DPWH has built 145,000 classrooms, 2,000 school buildings, 5,555 bridges, and 26,500 kilometers of roads, access roads, expressways, and tollways. Transportation modernization. Modernization of public transportation, specifically PUJ or jeepneys. The goal of making mass transportation safe, reliable, and available, under Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade. Outcome: Tugade completed more than 200 airport projects, 400 seaports, and 21 new lighthouses, to reach 564 lighthouses. New airport terminals were built for Mactan, Clark, Ormoc, and Calibo. Tugade has also started building the impossible, a subway in EDSA. Education. Free college education for all. Outcome: with 1.6 million availing by 2020, up by 36% from 2019. We expanded the access of Filipinos to quality and equitable tertiary education through RA number 10931, or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, which I signed on August 3, 2017, said Digong. Universal Healthcare. Health insurance coverage expanded from 90% of the population to 100%, signed in 2019, which is consistent with the 635.81 million worth of COVID-19 sickness services. War on Drugs. One of his main campaign platforms, which targets high-profile drug lords in the country. The goal of eradicating the nationwide abuse problem within the first 100 days as a president. Got both criticisms and praise from various sectors in the Philippines and abroad, together with the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, which established 965 Palay-Silangan Reformation Centers and 15 treatment and rehabilitation centers. As of January 2020, about 16,706 barangays were cleared of drugs. 2,799 children involved in illegal drug activities were rescued. 726 government workers were arrested, and 433 dens and clandestine laboratories were dismantled during the War on Drugs operations. Duterte has signed the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises, or CREATE Act, Bureau of Fire Protection, or BFP, Modernization Act, Anti-Terrorism Law, and the 105-day expanded maternity leave, as well as the mental health law. Moreover, the administration decisively passed and implemented the most comprehensive tax reform program ever in the country. Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Act, Tobacco Tax Reform, Tax Amnesty, New Sin Tax Reform, and Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprise Act. OFW programs, such as One-Stop Service Center for OFWs, Overseas Filipino Bank or OF Bank, OFW Hospital, and OFW e-card were administered under the Duterte legacy. The President also prioritized military and government workers' pay hikes and the Balik Probinsya program. Moreover, the 10-year passport and 5-year driver's license validity, previously 5 and 3 years respectively, were also implemented to avoid the hassle of the public of previous renewal. Boracay and Manila Bay Rehabilitation also occurred under the Duterte administration. The infamous Manila Bay Rehabilitation, under 13 mandamus government agencies spearheaded by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, received a lot of negative feedback regarding the dolomite sand used for the project. The Department of Health, or DOH, warned that the inhalation of the fine particles of dolomite might later lead to respiratory problems, as well as other health hazards. Several groups argued that the dolomite does not only pose health hazards, but also ecological dangers. However, when DENR Secretary Roy Cimatu later cited several medical studies that the dolomite used for the rehabilitation and beautification process was safe, DOH spokesperson and Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere retracted their warning. Still, political personalities and groups continued expressing criticisms based on the procedures of the project, timeliness of the implementation, given the nationwide pandemic response needed to be focused on, and supposed excessive spending with the other better, cheaper alternatives present. In a recent inauguration of the new head office of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, in Pasig, President Roa Duterte explained that the programs he could not pursue were not because of negligence or his shortcomings, but due to lack of time. The things that I failed to do most were not because of negligence or may mga shortcomings ako, but talagang time. 6 years would not be enough to finish all the projects, said PRRD. Currently serving as the 14th Vice President of the Philippines, Leni Robredo's office has garnered the highest audit rating from the Commission on Audit for 3 consecutive years, from 2018 to 2020, and has been recognized by Malacanang for its pandemic response programs across the country. Angat Buhay, the Vice President's flagship program, is an anti-poverty program that provides and coordinates support across multiple advocacy areas, including food security and nutrition, healthcare, public education, rural development, housing and resettlement, and women empowerment. According to the most recent updates, the Angat Buhay program has mobilized at least 520 million pesos in resources to benefit 321,000 families and 223 communities nationwide. Robredo has also led numerous relief operations through the Office of the Vice President. The same office manages a comprehensive COVID-19 response program that offers a range of assistance projects, such as free transportation services to frontliners, free teleconsultation services nationwide, handling logistics and manpower to transmit vaccine supply from the National Government Task Force to local government units, and vaccine express sites in partnership with LGUs. In her lone term in the House of Representatives, Robredo principally authored 3 bills signed into law, including the Tax Incentives Management and Transparency Act. On Tuesday, May 31, Robredo's spokesperson, lawyer Barry Gutierrez, said these initiatives, which the OVP carried out even with the limited mandate and resources, will be presented to Vice President-elect Sara Duterte Carpio.